At the beginning of the film, we observe Jodi and her boyfriend. Dunkelman argues that the union of a short guy with a tall girl always provokes a surprising reaction. Jodi agrees and recalls that in school she was the object of ridicule because of her tall stature. One day, a tall Swede named Stig showed up in their class. Jodi immediately fell in love with the Swede, and for a while they had a close relationship. However, it turned out that Stig was only using the girl. Dunkelman stood up for his friend and helped her to accept her height. Jodi performed at the graduation and realized that she doesn't love Stig. After that, the girl finally started dating Dunkelman. Their relationship is quite warm and pleasant, and they enjoy each other's company. Jodi becomes more confident, and now she's already helping her classmates to accept themselves. Soon, the girl decides to sign up for an audition for a local theater group. Her boyfriend and friend Farida makes a big deal out of it, because Jodi has been dreaming of performing on stage since high school. The girl is approached by Stig, who is quite friendly. Jodi is friendly with him, but her friends still harbor a grudge towards him for his act. Before the audition, the girl rehearses and is slightly nervous. Jodi notices a handsome actor who smiles at her. The guy introduces himself as Tommy and says he was impressed with the speech at the prom. Out of the audience comes Kimmy, who hates Jodi. The brunette says that she gets the lead role every year, so the audition is just a formality. Jodi takes the stage and says that she has dreamed of playing in a musical her whole life. In the evening, the girl has dinner with her family. Her sister Harper, who has been in beauty contests all her life, says that she got a good job in television. Her sister is happy that now she will no longer be seen as a mere doll. At the same moment, Jodi receives a message that she has been cast in the lead role in a musical. Her parents are delighted and offer to organize a party to celebrate the fulfillment of their daughter's dream. The next day, Jodi goes on a date with her boyfriend. Dunkelman congratulates the girl and tells her that she has changed a lot, but this role will help her become even more confident in herself and her talents. Jodi thanks him, but feels an inner anxiety. Before going to bed, the girl hears a voice in her head that says she didn't deserve the role, and she was just lucky. The next day, Jodi shares this with her sister. Harper says that the inner critic will question all her successes, and the more she steps out of the shadows, the louder it will get. The sister advises Jodi to try to master it. Meanwhile, Kimmy is furious that she didn't get the lead role. The brunette plans to humiliate Jodi at the first rehearsal so that the girl will run away and turn down the role. Meanwhile, the girl is out shopping for clothes with her friends. The salesman notices Jodi's sweatshirt, and she tells him that her friend made it. Stig starts praising Farida and her creative skills. The salesman agrees to look at some of Farida's stuff, and she relents a bit towards the Swede. Soon, the day of the first rehearsal comes. Dunkelman gives the girl a variety of things to help her, and tells her that he will be waiting for her. At the rehearsal, the same criticizing voice appears in Jodi's head again. The girl behaves awkwardly and repeatedly gets into unpleasant situations, from which she is rescued by Tommy. Kimmy tries to humiliate her rival, but she doesn't succeed. Meanwhile, Dunkelman tries to cook a festive dinner for his girlfriend, but he burns everything. Stig decides to come to the guy's rescue so he can still impress Jodi. Dunkelman is amazed by this and realizes that he has been too harsh on the Swede. At the anniversary dinner, Dunkelman gives a touching toast. However, Jodi is once again preoccupied with her inner critic and barely hears anything. Dunkelman says he won't be offended if the girl leaves to get ready for the musical. However, when Jodi gets up right after saying these words, her boyfriend gets very upset. Dunkelman says that he expected the girl to appreciate the effort and expense he put into trying to give her an enjoyable evening. The argument makes Jodi even sadder, and she leaves. At home, her sister and friend try to persuade the girl to be the first to make up with Dunkelman. However, her mother believes that the first to apologize is the weakest in the couple. The next day, silence reigns at Jodi's dinner table. Stig sincerely wants to reconcile the couple, but this only leads to a breakup. Dunkelman receives a message from his father, who asks him to come to the car urgently. The guy sees that a tall sister comes to Stig. Stella is delighted with Dunkelman, and therefore offers him to see the city together. The guy wants to refuse, but after looking at Jodi, accepts the offer. The inner voice in the girl's head says that now there is another tall beauty in the city, who left with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, Dunkelman talks to Stella and realizes that he has been unfair to her brother. Jodi constantly hears the voice of her inner critic in her head, who tells her that she won't be able to cope with the role and won't be able to perform, because even one look at the poster makes her sweat. Tommy notices the girl's excitement during rehearsal and invites her for a walk. The actor says that in high school, he was very fat and often became an object of ridicule. Tommy talks to Jodi in a friendly manner and directly tells her about his liking, which confuses the girl a little. The actor asks Jodi to dance to get rid of bad memories. After the dance, the couple kiss. The next day, Jodi tells her friend about it. She is distraught and doesn't know what to do. Dunkelman, meanwhile, desperately pretends that he doesn't care about his ex-girlfriend. However, Stella forces him to admit that he loves Jodi. Dunkelman decides to make up with the girl during chemistry class. Jodi agrees, but unexpectedly confesses that she kissed another guy. This hurts Dunkelman deeply, and he silently leaves. At home, despite the Stig's protest, the guy throws away all the things that are related to Jodi. In the living room, the guys hear crying and learn that Stella has been dumped by her boyfriend, who has stayed in Sweden. Dunkelman supports Stig's sister and suggests she get revenge on her exes. Together, they take lots of cute photos and post them online. Jodi watches them and feels upset. The girl nevertheless decides to seek advice from Harper. Her sister believes that, since Dunkelman doesn't answer the phone, it is necessary to come to his house and force him to talk. Harper suggests that the girl rehearse this dialogue to understand what to say and what not to say. The sister plays such a storm of emotions that Jodi gets tears in her eyes. Nevertheless, the girl gathers courage and knocks on the door to Dunkelman. However, instead of talking, the guy smilingly gives Jodi the backpack she gave him, saying that he sees no point in keeping it. The girl sadly walks to school, where she is soon approached by Tommy. The actor says that he enjoyed the evening. However, he sees no point in rushing things. Tommy also tells that on Saturday, all the cast will gather in the park for a fun ritual before the show. He hopes that Jodi will join them, as she has got the lead role. The girl hesitates a little, but then accepts Tommy's invitation. Finally, Saturday night comes. On it, the actors burn something that has hurt them, and that they want to leave in the past. When it's Jodi's turn, she gives a heartfelt speech about her boyfriend, but says she has to get over him and move on with her life. The girl is about to throw into the fire the high-heeled shoes that Dunkelman gave her before the prom. Kimmy observes sympathetically as her rival throws them into the fire. Jodi suddenly says she's changed her mind and wants to get the shoes, but she's not allowed near the fire. At the same moment, Kimmy uses a branch to get the shoes and pours water on them to help the girl. At the same time, Farida and her family and friends are having dinner at a restaurant. Stig once again supports his friend in her desire to become a fashion designer against her parents. Jodi, however, is still sitting by the fire with the actor and says that she isn't ready to forget her boyfriend yet. Tommy understands the girl and asks her not to worry about their kiss and false hopes. Jodi makes an agreement with him that they will remain friends. Farida, meanwhile, takes Stig on stage and helps him deal with his fear of performing in front of large numbers of people. Afterwards, the pair go outside and kiss. Farida is horrified, as she has broken the girl code and kissed a guy her friend once liked. Soon Jodi arrives as well. Noticing Dunkelman on stage with Stella, the girl gets very upset and drives home with her parents. In the car, Jodi has an anxiety attack because of the stress before the performance, college, and because of the breakup with Dunkelman. Her parents help the girl calm down and deal with the attack. Mom tells Jodi that there are some techniques that can help with anxiety and panic attacks, which can happen to anyone. The parents promise that they will help Jodi to cope with this problem. At home, the girl communicates with Harper, who is preparing to move. Her sister confesses to Jodi that her inner critic is also constantly sitting in her head. The girls try to support each other because they both have a hard time. Soon, the party before the performance comes. Jodi talks to her friend and informs her that she has guessed about her kiss with Stig. However, the girl doesn't mind in the slightest, and she is sure that Farida has found a great partner. Jodi also chats to Dunkelman, who is supportive and tells her that the performance is going to be amazing. Afterwards, the guy has a conversation with Stella. Stig's sister tries to convince Dunkelman that he created the perfect image of his girlfriend in his head, and when it didn't match reality, he just refused to fight. On the day of the performance, Jodi peeks out from backstage and is hit with another panic attack. Jodi asks Kimmy to come on stage in her place. However, the brunette supports Jodi and promises to prompt her with words in case of an emergency. The girl does a great job with her performance. After the musical, Dunkelman reconciles with Jodi and proposes to be together. After that, the girl, together with her family, friends, and lover, has a great time at the party. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like, write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.